This is my power planer. It's a Delta, let's see the model number, TP305, but it's a 12.5, 13-inch planer. And the reason I went with this model is it was on the clearance rack at one of the big box stores, I think Lowe's, and it was 150 bucks. So I was like, well, 150 bucks, can't be too bad. Well, the boards come out like trapezoids, so that's telling me something's askew on this. So we're really going to have to figure out what's going on with it and see what we can do. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to adjust it. And it looks like there's basically just screws that kind of bring one end up and down. And so hopefully we'll be able to adjust it easily. I'm going to look into the manuals and see what we can do. Okay, one of the first things is to check, according to the manual, to check for level. Now, I don't think we're very, seem to be, yeah, I guess we're as level as can be in these. So, yeah, looks pretty level. So I think we're good on the tables. We'll go ahead and move on. I also cleared, there was this plastic, it's like, I don't know, the packing plastic. Whoever was using it, because it obviously was returned, whoever was using it never took it off. And it's enough to throw stuff off. I don't know why you wouldn't just take it all off. So I just went ahead and took a scraper to it and pulled all of that off this part right there. Okay, so I looked at the manual and it said absolutely nothing. Yay. So I'm looking at this assembly and there's a screw here and a nut there, right? And I'm thinking that's how I adjust it. So that's what I'll do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a piece through it and we'll see how it looks, how skewed it is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot. I got my dust mask on. I'm a dusty man in a dusty world. I have what the doctors call issues. But anyway, let's check the thickness of this board. And it's uniform thickness. I went through. So it seems to be working. So it seems to be tuned up. It seems to be working not too bad. Well, that's just not remotely important. Okay. Guess we can move on to other wood. Okay, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to start rough skimming this wood. I'm not really going to dimension them. I'm just going to take the rough edges off so I can see what the wood look like so I can plan out the project. Once that reacclimates, I'll be marking out where all the cuts go. Then I'll be planing to final thickness, allowing room for snipe, which has happened on the edge of this board. So I really need to kind of keep checking that. Looks like about 2.5 inches, so I've really got to allow for that. For those who don't know, snipe is, what's happening is both rollers, there's two rollers with a blade in the middle. The first roller is grabbing the board, right? But it's not supported by the other roller, so it kind of kicks the board up a little bit. And you wound up shaving more wood off in that area. And that only happens until the second feed roller catches the board. on the other side of the blade. So whatever your distance between your blade and that second feed roller is the amount of snipe you'll have. It's a little inevitable. Some planers do worse of a job with it. This doesn't seem to be too bad, but I want to account for it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my mask on, and I'm going to feed the Paduke through first. And that Paduke is beautiful. It's nice red, exactly kind of what I was going for. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. It was just enough to go ahead and see what we have. The final dimension will happen a little later. Okay, now it's time to feed this maple through. We'll go ahead and do that. Sweating. I don't know, the machine is doing most of the work. It's not like it's a hand blade. Let's do this big mama jump. Well, that's rough milled. So, when you ask yourself, when you're buying a joiner, and you're going for one with dust collection, you really need to stop and think about it. Now, I don't have a dust collector, and I did get a deal on this, but if I was looking for a new one, there is mounds of dust. Right, so you need to ask yourself a couple questions. Do I need one with dust collection? Can I get by without one? And if I do want one with dust collecting, can my dust collector handle all this? You might want to go with something like a pre-separator to kind of do this. Now, I just planed this. So all I did, both sides, 4 boards. So, to give you an idea of what that planer kicked out. So, but I will work on layout tonight, and then I will plane to final thickness. Maybe even get to some glue up on this leg blanks. So that's where I stand, that's where I want to be. But for $150, I am pleased. So much I'm using a garden shovel to clean it up. Okay, there are a couple things that can use improvement here. One is I kind of like having the joiner up here on the router / table. It's the highest point of my shop, and it's a good point. By the time the boards get through the other end, they're just about all the way to that workbench at the end, that wall bench. So I have clearance, and by opening the door, I have room to feed in. Now this is a small shop. I don't really have, a whole lot of room. So I think this is the only place it can go. But that being the case, there's a couple things I need to consider. One is this thing drifts around a lot. So I'm going to need to, it has holes to bolt it down, but I'm going to have to find a temporary way to do that so I can pull it out and still use this as the joiner router face table, or router table, joiner router table, the table saw router station. I put this clamp here, and this clamp was just to keep it from going. I mean, going over the edge. It was wandering a lot. So what I'm thinking of doing, and I'll probably do a video on that, is mark these, right? And then I will drill holes and using T-nuts or whatever, come with little thumb screws to kind of just screw this down to keep it from rocking and sliding around. It will keep it stable up here. And I really think just these two on this side will be sufficient. It's just to keep it from sliding around. And I don't want to really put two here because eventually I want to get a router plate and they'll be in the way of that. So I think the two on the one side will probably just do enough to keep it from moving around, and that's all I really need there. Other than that, it performed well. It performed good. For $150, I'm pleased with it. So I'll continue to, to use this. And this will be my planer for a while. I don't really see a need to change it. Another thing I can do is I'm going to need to find a way to, maybe if I get another sawhorse, I need in-feed and out-feed support. Something to rest over there. I kind of made this temporary support for the outfeed. If I could make something that would kind of just go here, maybe a board with something raised up with some rollers or something might be nice. Something to give a little better support on this end. And you can kind of just clamp it into place when I put up the planer. So we can I can easily quick convert to doing the planing for the project. So I think there are things I need to look at in the future. I don't like the way the planer can kind of go all over the place on that table, so we really need to bolt that down. And one of the things I noticed is the board catches here, the feed rollers just push the planer, and if you don't either fix this or stop that, the planer's going right off that table. So I think something that can kind of help guide the boards over so they don't really get caught. Some nice rollers or something. Quick tip is I take all my manuals for my shop and put them in one 3-ring binder. I buy basically sleeves that I can slip the manuals into to take out when they need to be. They're in categories: shop, outdoor tools. I have my lawnmowers and stuff in this one too. Small shop, power tools; small shop, non-power tools; major tools, including a 12.5-inch planer. But it helps you find things real easy. Now I have 2 of these binders. I have one for all the appliances in the house, small and large, and one for out here and the tractors and stuff. So that's a quick tip. It really seems to work good for me. I know exactly where the manuals are when I need them. And as Normie says, always read and understand your manuals.